Hello, it says I am live. I feel like the red and the blue really contrast against the white behind me. I am hi. And like from the light, you can see that I'm breaking out right here. I just noticed that like the last day that I worked, I was about to go home and I was like, I'm breaking out. I'm breaking out. Okay, so anyway, hello. The Pisces full moon reading videos are going up. They are live on plenty of channels. I keep looking at my webcam camera instead of this webcam camera, like my laptop webcam camera, because usually that's where I set it. But I have this project that I'm working on in my apartment, and by project I mean I'm unpacking some boxes that have been sitting around for a minute that I didn't get to finish unpacking in my 4 days off, but I've been really intentionally resting and napping a lot just to catch up on sleep because it's been weeks. So, what? Hey, Holly, how you doing? Ooh, who was that? Oh, is that the title card? It is the title card. I got these new contacts. I'm kind of loving them. They look just eerie enough. The Empress Strength, the Ace of Wands, and the title card. I got a new deck today, and I'm going to be using this deck with it, the Legends Tarot, because it features dragons. The pips are real pippy, but can you see these? Yeah, you can. Nice. The Empress, Strength, the Ace of Wands, and the title card. Interesting. Oh, these aren't the new cards, but I wanted to shuffle these first. The Three of Swords is the bottom of the deck. And who is this? The Devil is the top. I gotta get these right. Yeah, the other ones, like the yellow ones, looked a lot more natural. And I think it's because they're so blue that, like, it's very striking. And at first, when I first put them in, I was like, ooh. But now I'm like low key kind of obsessed. So one of my friends was like, "You look like Heimdall from the Thor movies." I was like, "Oof." The Empress, Strength, the Ace of Wands. Well, the Empress is giving like pregnant energy. Strength is giving Lamaze push, delivery room energy. The Ace of Wands is giving like the birth of like maybe a passion project sort of energy. But then the title card is like, who knows what's gonna come of this? So I almost got some pink ones too. They were really cute, but I didn't get them. So I only got these today. And I feel like I'm kind of overcast, but it's fine. Now I'm looking at that light over there. But yeah, since I'm like unpacking all of those things, I was like, I'm just gonna grab my laptop and go live somewhere else. So here we are, live somewhere else. Now I went on Amazon to order some bamboo toilet paper, and I saw this Star Dragons deck, Star Dragons Oracle cards, and the dragon on the box reminded me of Rathian from Monster Hunter. So I got it, and they came today. So we're just gonna see what's up. This is not gonna be a full moon in Pisces specifically video. This is just a whatever want to come out type of video. Or almost that blue. Yeah, I know. Are they this blue? There was a guy that I met at college who had like very, very striking blue eyes. It took me a whole semester to be able to formulate sentences. Sometimes when he would, I was never like that with anybody before him or anyone after him, where I'm just like, blah, 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 literally unable to formulate sentences. It was kind of embarrassing. Anyway, by the end of the semester, though, we were like, I was able to hold conversation, so that was pretty nice. But he had really like striking blue eyes. Excuse me. That's a good one. It is almost Halloween time. All right. StarDragons, give us a card, please. For number 12, the self, gathering your power. The red in this dragon almost makes me think of, and it's not there anymore. Oh, 10 of Cups. Almost makes me think of the Devil card because it had a black dragon on it. Interesting. The self, gathering your power. Now, the one came out, I think it was the last archetype. This isn't the Pick a Prophecy video, obviously. But the one came out as the last archetype, and it was like a united self energy. Bottom of the deck is legacy, persistence. Number 8. These like have constellations on them and stars and everything. So I'm gonna read the book to know like what constellation this is. So the constellation is Serpens, and the star is Unukalhai. Wisdom of the Herald, Wisdom of the Dragon, and then the Star Dragon Invocation. They got 3 different things on this. Wisdom of the Herald, ride the wave of life and harness your chi. Build up your energy and never back down as you rise in strength and power. Come into your own and illuminate fearlessly. Now is the time to gather your power and rise to the occasion. Go. Wisdom of the Dragon, it is all about you right now. Focus on yourself and allow the force of self-worth, self-knowledge, and self-empowerment to bubble below the surface until it pours forth into your outer world. Embody the spirit of who you truly are. It's time to go your own way. Proclaim my way or the highway. Oof. And then legacy is at the bottom of the deck. So maybe it's a point in time where many things are about to be born, which would kind of sort of fit the Empress, Strength, Ace of Wands, and title card energy. All right, let's clarify this self-gathering power with this. I don't know. Let's see. How many cards do I want? Like 3. That one went all the way over to Legacy. Oh, please don't fall on the floor. Any card that falls on the floor is out of the video until it's over, because I am not about to be playing that game. Second card is the 8 of Cups. Oop, 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 oop. All right, there we go. There is 3. Bottom of the deck is the 8 of Swords. The counter came out. 8 of Swords. Temperance, we saw her. 4 of Swords, 8 of Cups, Temperance. Now, the pips in this deck are real pippy. The 4 of Swords got a sword on it with 4 coins with dragons on them. The 4 of Cups got 8 circles on it with wolves on it. And then Temperance is here. What is this? Gathering your power. Now, what's interesting is this golden, well, this illuminated, this sun like orb in the middle of her hands, and like this fire red bottom that's sitting on the serpent. The Four of Swords, it feels like making peace with certain things. The Eight of Cups is moving away from certain things, and then maybe Temperance is knowing it's having a balance between those two. What's interesting about this Temperance card is, though, that it isn't pouring one thing into another. It is presenting something. It is presenting one thing rather than it tempering one thing and another. So this could obviously be because the gathering your power talked about like basically living in your authenticity. So it's like it's tempering between the internal and the external. Like how much of your self do you bring to certain situations? Like are there situations that you can be present in but not necessarily engaged with the Four of Swords? And then there are others where with the Eight of Cups where it's like it's to disconnect and to move forward. Because the Four of Swords isn't really active. I did not. I've never even heard of that. But I'm not surprised at the same time. My reading days happened very early in my life. I was over reading by the time I went to like the fourth grade. I already read the book. I would almost expect for there to be more. But maybe it's because it says gathering your power that it isn't necessarily exercising it. Like there's no action here. If there is any action, it's just like walking away with the Eight of Cups. Or maybe this is like it's embracing a more compassionate side of the self. The Eight of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. Who is this peeking out behind the Eight of Swords? The Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is with these wolves, raised by wolves. Anyway, sorry. Eight of Swords, Knight of Cups. And then the Chariot is behind this Knight of Cups. And the Chariot is interesting or important because usually the Chariot will depict like opposing forces or two animals, whatever, that are not heading in the same direction. But it's the will of the charioteer that puts them on the same page so that the chariot can move forward. And there are these two wolves in the Knight of Cups that are cooperating with the hunter. And it's interesting because there's that like is it actually a Native American proverb or is it just people who say it is? You know what I mean? But it's like, there are two wolves inside of all of us, one of good and one of evil, because I'm paraphrasing. And the one that wins is the one that we feed. But here they're both sort of like healthy and thriving and working in cooperation with the hunter. But still, like Four of Swords, Eight of Cups, and Temperance. I would think that this has a lot to do with like probably like shadow worky, self worth, self love type stuff. Because if this is an exercising of power, it's not externally like projected or externally directed at all. It's all about the self here. Let's get a second dragon. So stage one is to gather your power. What is stage two? Is there a spread in this book? I should do the spread. Two cards: returning, going with the flow, and resilience, finding your limits. Number 20 and 21. Hey, 21, 12, 21. We got some mirrors, mirror, mirror, with the 20 in between them. Now, I did when I shuffled this deck, like I separated it out into 6 different piles. So no two cards would have been numerically right next to each other anymore post shuffle, but 20 and 21 came out together still. So this going with the flow feels pretty passive as well. Like this dragon isn't necessarily really doing anything. And then in this resilience, finding your limits, what I'm most focused on is the chest of this individual down here. Which, of course, is making me think of this temperance. Which also, in turn, is making me think of an energy that came out recently that also made me think of, I think Reem did a video where it was that solar plexus third eye, where it was like the core and whatever color flame is at the core, the same color you can see in the eyes. Now the bottom of the deck is space, number 5. And it's a Roman numeral 5. I don't know how I'm going to use this deck or when it's going to necessarily, but we'll find out. Returning, going with the flow. Constellation Ursa Major, Star Alioth, Epsilon Ursae Majoris. Wisdom of the Herald, seasons change and the universe ebbs and flows, the constellations shift, and in the midst of all the great changes of life, your ability to juggle whatever comes your way is seemingly the only constant. Move with whatever changes come your way, flow with it, roll with it, be like water. By flowing and remaining in constant motion, this element breaks down even the mightiest obstacles. Wisdom of the Dragon. I'm back. Spring to life better than ever. It is time for renewal. Return on the scene after a long recess to take charge and conquer. You are better than ever before. Fall goes to winter and turns to spring. You will rise again and return to the truth of who you really are. It ends and you will return to the truth of who you really are. And again, that gathering your power in the self was the sort of main energy. Even oh, so like this in the gathering of power, you can see the orange like starting to whatever on the dragon, and then it's like it's flared up. It's bloomed in this one because you could see it like it's become a mane of sorts rather than it being subdermal or like under the skin of the dragon. It's like now outside. Supradermal, if that's a word. And then we have resilience, number 21. Ooh, there are spreads in here. Resilience, finding your limits. I'll hold this one up. And I gotta like angle it right so you can actually see it. This is Canis Major. The star is Sirius, Alpha Canis Majoris. Enough is enough. There comes a time when the fire within burns brightly with an intuition shouting forth, it is time. Time to know when to quit. Baby, it's cold outside. Look within for that inner warmth and knowledge of self. Set your boundaries. Know your limits. Find what works for you right now. The outside world is irrelevant. The entire universe resides inside of you. Limits were made to be surpassed and finish lines crossed. You know your limit, but after a certain point, you will reemerge to tackle a new challenge, stronger and better than ever before. You bounce back. You are resilient. It's time to push it to the limit and beyond. I love the cohesion between all of this. Very cohesive. I don't know what word I was about to say, but it's also interesting that we get the constellation of Ursa Major and Canis Major, Great Bear and the Greater Dog. There was something in this. There comes a time when the fire within burns brightly with an intuition shouting forth. That makes me think of Remph, Angel of Time. The fire, what was the fire within is the same that cracks its skin. I don't remember. Uh, but that's where this energy came from too, with the core being like that solar plexus energy being seen or visible somewhere else. It is also interesting that it said that the external world is irrelevant because, again, none of this energy, because I feel like, I don't know, whenever it comes to like knowing your power, it feels like it's almost always partnered with like moving something or moving through something in the external world, like exercising that power. I don't know if I've ever, I guess not that I've never seen it internally sort of rooted, but again, it's just like it feels like more often than not, it's about making something happen. All right, let's clarify these. I felt sleepy. I might go to bed, honestly. Honestly, the Seven of Cups fell right on top of resilience, finding your limits. And then I guess let's get one for returning. For returning. We're going to keep going until one flips out. Flips over. Flips over. I saw something today. Um, So I went over. I went to town. It's not the city. I went to a larger town than the one I live in. Hey, Steph, how you doing? Um, and on the way, I saw a semi, the Three of Cups, and on the back of the semi, it said, "You are needed." Bottom. Oh, I was just gonna say the Seven of Cups and the Three of Cups together make the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups was actually at the bottom of the deck. I think when the Empress, Strength, the Ace of Wands, and no, the Three of Swords, I think was at the bottom of the deck then. It was at the bottom of the deck at a time where I wasn't really like reading the cards or pulling the cards. Um, yeah, it's at, I think it's still at my mom's. She was like, "Oh, are you going to take it?" And I was like, you know, I'll get it when I get it. I don't even know where I would necessarily put it. Um, because unless I change my setup, but the Seven of Cups and the Three of Cups is the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. So this is reading as like two pieces of the puzzle, like two halves to this energy. Um, so it would be seven parts resilience, three parts going with the flow, returning. And I guess it's low key given me the seventh and eighth emanations or Sephira on the Kabbalah Tree of Life. Um, is it Had and Netzach? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the one of endurance. It's the leg of endurance and the leg of surrendering. And again, it's sort of playing on this Four of Swords, Eight of Cups energy. And I guess again, with that chariot, because returning is about going with the flow. And then resilience is like, but again, like both of the messages read so similarly that they're not um, mutually exclusive or necessarily opposing. But it feels like they're very easy to, well, maybe not. Well, in the going with the flow, yes. I guess like going with the flow and finding your limits could be about like building boundaries, establishing new boundaries, which again sort of falls under that because the Four of Swords was like sort of being in a situation that may not necessarily be the best, but it's not harmful either. Like the way it's reading today, it's like being present but not necessarily engaged, but also not feeling that you need to disengage. Because when you need to disengage, that's where it switches over. That's where the Eight of Cups plays more into that temperance. What Mars just transited into Libra. I don't know. Again, it's like I would almost expect a little bit more like action. So I don't know if it's like now is not a time of great movement, or we may be coming into a time of like learning to be really, really clear on who you are and what you believe in. And maybe it's that simple. maybe this like know your power or gathering your power is to be less easily influenced, to help you either gain or maintain clarity in a situation. Maybe it'll just be beneficial to know all of that stuff. 7 parts finding your limits, resilience. 3 parts returning. Where's my phone? Let's do a little math. Let's do a little math. A little math. So we're gonna math this out. We got 7 times 21 plus 3 times 20. Oh, that is 3. No, that is not 20. There we go. 7 times 21 plus 3 times 20 is 207. 207 is. What's 207? The chariot. Um, it's the chariot and judgment, right? Judgment and the chariot. Chariot energy is here. I don't think judgment energy is necessarily as um, oh my gosh. Sorry to hear it. There's something in this returning card of like, I don't know if it's the offering or what this is. That's very interesting. Maybe that's discernment. Because it doesn't feel like the dragon is just going to eat it because it's offered. You know what I mean? And I guess we are in Virgo season. So maybe it's like hermit energy. Gather your power, know your limits, and go with the flow, is what the dragons are saying. So there we go. I'm going to get some final cards and then We'll see. Go to bed. I don't know. Go to sleep. Who knows? Two of Wands under that Three of Cups. Excuse me. Has that been coming out? Maybe. Maybe not. I also have my Holy Island shot glass. I found it in one of the boxes today, so I'll be using that for the Pick of Prophecy. Space came back out. Bottom of the deck, returning, going with the flow. See, in this space card, it's been like um it's making me think of like how we view the solar system as like the sun is stationary and all of the planets rotate around the sun. But in reality, like the sun is moving through space. And as the sun moves through space, all of the planets sort of like rotate around it. So like our solar system isn't stationary. There's something about like hurtling through space in the space card. And maybe with all of the like the cards that came out, it's having a sense of self or maintaining a sense, excuse me, of groundedness as we're just like hurtling through space. And we don't know where we're going to end up or what we're going to do or where we're going to be. Um, it makes me think again, it said it in the entry. It's like the fact that we have to acclimate or not to change is one of the only constants in life. I think there is also something to be said for us not necessarily, again, like going off of that hurtling through space, it's like not necessarily, it's partially like entering unfamiliar territory. It's partially just like unknown again. And it's to not resist it, go with the flow, return to self. Maybe there's like, maybe our paths, your path is directed and guided in a way to lead you to yourself. And maybe you are such a stranger to who you are that you wouldn't even necessarily recognize the path home. And that's, it feels like it's a little bit more absolute than like it could be like you don't know who you're gonna be in this lifetime by the end of it. Like you, because legacy was at the bottom of the deck. You don't know what your legacy will be. Like you could think that it'll be one thing, it can be something completely different. And that's again, it's like as you are, excuse me, as you are returning, again, it's like it's going back home and not recognizing the way. So we got the Eight of Cups again. Only card that fell out. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles, and the Lovers is behind that. The pips pip in this deck, I'm telling you. The pips are very pippy. Pippy Longstocking? No, I'm kidding. Um, it's like being willing to walk away or being willing to risk. This came out recently, I think. Being willing to risk isolation and loneliness. Not loneliness, being willing to risk isolation and being alone in order to find those places where you truly belong. Eight of Cups, Five of Pentacles, and the Lovers. Cinco de Oros en los enamorados. The Lovers. Ocho de Copas. So yeah, that's what I got. I hope you all have an amazing whatever. Whenever you see this, I hope you're acting on alignment to my God that you wish to experience your reality. We'll see. We'll see where the dragons fit into my rotation or what energies the dragons like to the star dragons in particular like to like come out for slash read, or if this isn't just a deck that I get and then gift to somebody else. And then as soon as I get that, I'm like, oh man, I could have used the Star Dragons to do this or do that. I'm not sure. This deck is like, it's interesting though. Excuse me, it is interesting. Because I don't think that came out last time. Where it was like the Ching Long. Maybe it did though. I'm trying to think. I mean, ultimately, the message from the Star Dragons today is know thyself. It'll make it easier to navigate through unforeseeable situations and to find truth amidst information. Because I think sometimes when we enter unfamiliar territory or whenever we hear about things that we are unaware of, it can be easy to hold on to the first thing that we hear as truth. Or it can be easy to like go for someone who like says a lot. It can be easy for us to get an impression that someone may be knowledgeable about something, or at least more knowledgeable than us because we don't know anything, and to like hold on to it as truth. Um, but maybe it speaks to resonance. Like if you know yourself and if you have that resilience, like then if it resonates, or even if it doesn't like send off any this isn't for me bells, like you can go along with it to see if it makes sense. And if not, then that's like the Eight of Cups. And temperance is like building a knowledge and understanding. It also made like I restarted The Good Place. I wasn't gonna go right to season 4, but I started at season 1 because Netflix is one of my friends right now, uh, and there was a Michael. Eleanor went to go see Michael, and Michael was like, "Oh, excuse the mess," and then he was like, "Oh, sorry, like I forgot that humans can't see in the ninth dimension. There's like a lot of tension here." And he's like pushing the tension out of the air and like clearing the tension off of the chair before she sat down. And so I don't know. I don't know why the StarDragons are saying it's going to be really beneficial to know yourself and to hold in high regard resonance and to actively use your discernment, especially in places that are unfamiliar. Because it's almost like again, it's like being presented with information. And since it may be in an arena that we have no knowing, it can be really easy to go like, oh, like this person is saying something, I don't know anything. They seem trustworthy. Not to say that they are, not to say that they aren't. Um, I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Holly and Steph, for being here. I will catch y'all later. I should probably just go to bed. I'm so tired. I've been like, whenever I get sleepy, I've been sleeping. And because of that, I've been feeling so rested. I'm like, because I've been like trying to basically stay on my work schedule when I'm not at work. And I feel like it was hard to like feel rested when I was doing that. But I was like, this time I was like, just gonna listen to my body. So anyway, I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.